Earlier this year, Disney announced a new series of official Star Wars books and comics leading up to the highly anticipated The Force Awakens, titled, appropriately enough, Journey to Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now I, like most people, love Star Wars, and I also love books, so this announcement of a whole new set of stories all building up to this one huge movie coming this Christmas got me very excited. And so, I decided to do a quick series of book reviews / vlogs on the 5 main official novels published as part of this series. For the first of these 3 episodes, because if you're going to talk about Star Wars, why not make it a trilogy? I'm going to talk about the 3 junior novels, basically kids' books, which all take place during the events of the original trilogy and focus on a different main character that we all know and love. And they are The Weapon of a Jedi, a Luke Skywalker adventure, Smugglers Run, a Han Solo and Chewbacca adventure, and Moving Target, a Princess Leia adventure. So let's begin. First up is The Weapon of a Jedi, written by Jason Fry, which follows on after the destruction of the Death Star at the end of the first film. Luke Skywalker has been hailed as a hero, although he seeks only to support the freedom fighters and continues to serve the Rebel Alliance as a pilot working alongside Red Squadron. However, while on a mission to retrieve Imperial communication logs intercepted by rebels, Luke finds himself drawn by the Force to a mysterious jungle planet where a strange slab of ruined towers lies deep within the forests and are feared by the local townspeople to be cursed. Luke nonetheless decides to search the abandoned towers, accompanied by C-3PO and R2-D2, and what he ends up discovering there brings him a step closer to understanding the Force and what it means to be a Jedi. One of my favourite aspects of the original trilogy has always been Luke Skywalker's character development, as he transforms from a wide-eyed, sheltered farm boy to the powerful yet courageous Jedi Knight and saviour of the galaxy. Over the course of 3 movies, Luke learns to control himself physically, mentally and emotionally, and even though he's surrounded by the tragedies of wartime and forced to commit great sacrifices, he still ultimately manages to triumph against the Empire by becoming what can only be described as the strongest and purest version of himself, without ever letting his hate get the better of him. And this story is a clear demonstration of Luke's personal growth, as the titular Weapon of a Jedi is not just his lightsaber, it's also his sheer determination and the strength of his will, not to mention little help from the Force. The supporting characters are also very fun and compelling. C-3PO and R2-D2 are back and bickering at each other as usual. Luke makes a new ally in the form of a teenage Devaronian girl named Farney. And we also get to meet for the first time a new villain, due to appear in The Force Awakens, named Sarko Plank. The plot is short and simple, on account of being a children's book, but it still manages to focus on its main character extremely well, and on the whole, I consider it a good read. The next book is Smugglers Run by Greg Rucka, also taking place after the first movie ends, and this time the spotlight is set on Han and Chewie, who consider their involvement with the rebels at an end and want for nothing more than to collect their reward. That is, until Princess Leia talks them into a rescue mission to save Lieutenant Emad, the leader of a recon team on the run from Imperials whose capture could destroy the rebellion. With the aid of the Millennium Falcon, they arrive on the planet Circon, where Emad is currently hiding, but this simple operation is easier said than done, as our heroes find themselves forced to use their wits against not one, but 2 groups of foes. The hard-hearted bounty hunters which reside in the criminal planet, who are more than ready to capture Han Solo and Chewbacca on sight, as well as the Imperial Security Bureau, led by the ruthless Commander Alicia Beck, who, by the way, has an awesome computer eye. This story, in my opinion, is a pretty standard affair. Han and Chewie are cocky yet charming, with their hearts in the right place even if they don't always manage to follow the rules. So basically, their usual likeable selves. The suspense and combat scenes do manage to grip your attention in the best way that they can, although it does seem to me that this book is a little too short to pull off the action-packed, fast-paced adventure type story that you'd normally associate with these 2 characters. But that's not to say that the author isn't trying their hardest to make things interesting. Both the bounty hunters and Commander Beck make good threatening villains, and despite being on opposite sides in a lawful, chaotic kind of way, they're both very similar in how neither group is willing to give up until they find and obtain Han and Chewie. And you do get to see a glimpse of Han Solo's personal growth as he starts to empathise with and care about other people besides himself. A brief scene near the beginning where he and Leia are arguing becomes strangely heartwarming in hindsight, knowing that they do love each other despite their own hot-headedness, and it's always really good seeing where the story takes place during the films. All in all, Smugglers Run is a decent, if somewhat rushed adventure, but if you're a big fan of Han Solo and Chewbacca, then you might enjoy this story. Not much else to say about this one. And so we wrap up this mini-trilogy with Moving Target, written by Cecil Castellucci and Jason Fry, which takes place between The Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. Hunted by the Galactic Empire and protected by a single rebel task force, Princess Leia has become a symbol due to being the last survivor of Alderaan. But after seeing one too many people getting hurt while protecting her, namely Han Solo, who remains captured by Jabba the Hutt, Leia decides to take control and proposes a plan to draw the Imperial forces to the other side of the galaxy so that the rebellion can be united in secrecy. She soon finds herself leading a ragtag group of rebels as they travel from planet to planet, attempting to avoid the looming threat of the Empire. However, while this story may climax with the deadly standoff between our leads against the Imperial forces, the fast-moving adventure, as seen in the previous two books, has been mostly set aside for deeper and surprisingly more mature themes you wouldn't normally expect in a Star Wars book aimed for kids: loyalty and love. If you know anything about Princess Leia, then you know that she has been through a lot at a relatively young age. She's lost her home planet, her family is dead, and now it seems that the man she loves has also been taken from her reach. We get to see Leia showing grief and heartache over her losses, and it's given more weight here than the original films, which makes for some really wonderful character depth. But despite this, Leia also remains the same tough leader as before, and we get to see her take over the mission with as much power and might as ever. Purpose and might. But despite this, Leia also remains the same tough leader as before. And she takes control of the mission with as much purpose and might as ever. The team that she assembles are a great band of supporting characters, each of them different alien species, and all with their own motivations, all the while forming an immediate bond over a short and dangerous period of time. The team that she assembles are a great band of supporting characters. They're all different alien species, and they all have their own motivations while forming an immediate bond with each other over a short and dangerous period of time. I think that Moving Target's got to be my personal favourite of the three books because it gives insight into Leia's compassion for those around her and the events which lead up to the decision she makes in the last film to sacrifice her life, a life so important to the rebellion, for a single person. So yeah, I enjoyed these stories a lot, and that's all well and good. But this is where it gets really interesting. Most of these books start and end with a prologue and epilogue which takes place during the present day, more specifically around the same time as The Force Awakens. Moving Target shows Leia recalling a tale from her past to be recorded for her memoirs. Smugglers Run features Han telling barflies at the cantina a story about the Millennium Falcon for the price of a drink. However, The Weapon of a Jedi is the only one of the three books in which the story is not told from the mouth of the main human character. Instead, it's C-3PO recounting the novel's events to a young X-Wing pilot on droid duty, with Luke nowhere to be seen yet remaining a heroic figure for defeating the Emperor, and is also described as being the best star pilot in the galaxy. So, where's Luke Skywalker? This question has popped up plenty of times during the build-up to The Force Awakens, and for a very good reason. Although Mark Hamill's been confirmed to reprise his role as the heroic Jedi for the new movie, with his voice appearing in one of the teaser trailers, Luke's face has not yet appeared either on screen, in the artwork for the poster, or in any other official merchandise or promotional material. Hamill himself has revealed that he's currently keeping a huge secret regarding Luke Skywalker and possibly his whereabouts in the new trilogy, where, and I quote, "There's an amount of money that, if it leaks because of me, I don't get that payment." The fact that he also directly references in the same interview how he hid the shocking revelation of Darth Vader being Luke's father for a year and a half only adds more fuel to the fire. Not to mention that one of the newer cast members, John Boyega, also recently revealed that in the upcoming film, soldiers and stormtroopers like his character Finn are raised from childhood to believe that Luke was the evil force responsible for the destruction of the Empire at the end of Return of the Jedi. Of course, we'll just have to hope that The Force Awakens will bring us at least some answers, but even then, it may take some time before we know the full truth. In conclusion, all three Junior novels are consistently fun, exciting and action-packed, while remaining just as interesting read to captivate younger Star Wars fans. Each tale contains a great character study of Luke, Han and Leia. And even if you've seen the Star Wars movies 100 times and you already know what each character is all about, you still get to see a wonderful insight into their different mindsets. And you really get to see their character development burn brighter between each adventure in a way that only subtly came across during the original films. If you loved watching your favourite heroes on screen and you want to see more of their adventures, then these are the books for you. Thanks for watching. Join me next time and I'll be reviewing Lost Stars by Claudia Gray, the first young adult book in the Star Wars franchise. Please like and comment on this video, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to follow me on social media. Until then, bye!